Hey ho bags, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod here to talk about Survivor Season 46, Episode 10 titled Run the Red Light. Last week on Survivor, tensions were high and blindsides were brewing, but it was Hunter who became prey, leaving with his idol firmly in his pocket. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description so you can try Paramount Plus for free. Catch up on this season of Survivor. If you like my videos, give me a like and consider subscribing. Let's dive into it. The players get back to camp and Liz is annoyed that she wasn't informed on any of the plans at Tribal.
I am trying to hold my composure so I don't explode. What the heck, you hoe bags?
Liz tells the other players she felt stupid and left out. Q is again quarantining himself on his boat on the beach.
He flew too close to the sun and his wings burnt off.
Maria sees value in Q because he's still in the game, so she goes to talk to him and butter him up a little. Q tells us that his strategy right now is to win immunity. That was Hunter's strategy last week, Q. In the morning, Maria, Charlie, and Kenzie reconvene to follow up on the plan to blindside Tiffany. Maria says she thinks she can get Q to be in on it. Kenzie says,
"A huge checkpoint on your resume is voting out your number one."
I don't know where this comes from, but I completely disagree. Whatever happened to loyalty? Their challenge is an epic obstacle course. Jeff calls them all skinny. For the reward challenge, they need to navigate through the course and get a sandbag at the end. Then they have to throw and land it on a perch. They'll be playing for the biggest reward of the season, Applebee's. And Liz is trying to revoke Karishma's title as #1 Applebee's fan, saying she gets Applebee's every Survivor Wednesday with her daughter. My family ordered Applebee's watching this. Jeff describes the food sensually.
All right, let me walk you through what's in store for the winner. Boneless wings,
Spinach and artichoke dip.
chicken quesadillas,
Yeah.
the Bourbon Street chicken and shrimp, the Bourbon Street
Mushroom.
Swiss, that's 100%.
Ground beef.
It's my favorite.
Smothered and sauteed.
They get started and Q gets to a quick lead and Liz in last. Eventually, they're all throwing their bags. Liz almost sinks her first toss and celebrates being close, but Q ends up winning the reward and overnight stay at the sanctuary where good things happen. Jeff tells them that he could bring friends and he picks Tiffany because he wants to mend the fences with her. Liz starts begging to be picked and Q picks Maria because she checked in on him when he was alone. Liz is now crying and Jeff points out that Liz can't eat anything, but Q still picks Kenzie to join them. Jeff asks Liz how she's feeling and she has an all-time Survivor meltdown.
I see you eat every day. Q, you almost blew up my whole game.
Anyway, Q, Kenzie, Tiff, and Maria will be eating good in the neighborhood. Back at camp, Charlie, Venus, and Ben support Liz. In confessional, Ben is sympathetic toward Liz in a way that's still a plug for Applebee's.
The Bourbon Burger is her go-to menu item.
At the sanctuary, the Applebee's looks really good, though if I were there, I would demand a soft drink, a Diet Cola perhaps. Q is trying to mend the fence with his ex-tribe mates. Kenzie says Q is like an unhealthy ex-boyfriend, taking her to Applebee's to hope she forgets what he did to her.
Takes a little more to woo me.
The server brings out Liz's burger, but they're so full, they don't even touch the burger. Back at camp, Liz breaks down, sharing that she grew up with food instability and flashback to her childhood and to her at Applebee's with her daughter. They really showed us the receipts that Liz goes to Applebee's. Back at the sanctuary, Q walks away and Tiffany and Kenzie agree that Q still needs to go. Maria doesn't like hearing it, but will consider it. The next day, in the morning, the winners return to camp and brag in detail about their feast.
I didn't even touch the burger chicken.
I'm surprised you didn't bite like a little bit of
Oreo milkshake. That or
Read the freaking room.
Liz apologizes to Q for her outburst.
I was lying. I'm not sorry. I'm super proud of myself for yelling at him.
Maria and Charlie meet to debrief and they go over their target list, but agree that Tiffany is still their #1 target. Their immunity challenge is an endurance competition holding onto a handle that's holding up 25% of their pregame body weight. Jeff offers them a rice negotiation where 4 people can step out to get a bag of rice. When they don't agree to it, he offers them a little jar of rice that an individual can have to themselves, which is basically offering Liz some food, so Liz takes the little rice. They get started and Venus is quickly out. Ben asks Jeff for a Van Halen quote and I guess he gets one, then he's out. Venus casts a spell on Q from the sidelines. Q then drops, which makes the ladies happy, and Kenzie and Maria drop soon after. It comes down to a showdown between Charlie and Tiffany, but Tiffany hasn't moved a muscle since the challenge began. Shockingly, Tiffany collapses, giving Charlie his second immunity in a row. Then Charlie tells us he's been doing a lot of practice to his grip strength over the last few years to prepare for this. There's a joke to be made from that, I promise. Back at camp, Tiffany is expecting a near unanimous vote for Q, but is still contemplating playing her idol. Maria brings up voting for Tiffany to Kenzie, but Kenzie isn't down anymore.
If I keep sitting back and waiting for the light to turn green, it may not turn green. So I'm gonna have to run the red light.
Oop, Maria said the thing. Maria then goes to Q and tells Q to vote for Tiffany, and they get Ben on board too, so they have 4 votes. They consider their options for the 5th vote and settle on approaching Liz. So Liz is the swing vote heading into this tribal council, deciding between Tiff and Idolicia or her Q. At Tribal, Kenzie burns her hair with her torch, and talk is of Q being the perpetual decoy for every vote since the merge. Through Jeff's questions, it really feels like Jeff is signaling for Tiffany to play the idol. They talk about Liz's blow up, and she basically admits in front of the jury that she's not really sorry. They all vote, and Tiffany decides not to play her idol. Jeff reads the votes, and it looks like they ran the red light because by a vote of 5-3, Tiffany and Idolicia are voted out of the game. So we have to say goodbye to Tiffany here, who obviously has a big personality. I think she could be a very fun character, though I really feel like we didn't get to see her live up to her full entertainment value on the season. There were fun moments. I love that she named the idol Idolicia. She successfully found the idol, which put her in a really good spot in her starter tribe, being right in the middle of Q and Kenzie. At times, she overplayed, and I didn't like her overkill treatment of Jess. At the merge, Q outs that she has an idol. I can't blame her for telling him about the idol, given how much he was chastising Banu for having a big mouth. Once everyone found out about the idol, she should have just played it. She got lucky last week with the Hunter vote. At this tribal, it really felt like Jeff was signaling to her to play the idol, as it's such a waste that all 3 original idols weren't played. Overall, I like Tiffany as a character, but I've seen enough of her on Survivor. I would like to see her maybe on The Amazing Race or The Challenge. As for the game right now, this voting block of Maria, Charlie, Q, and Ben could really take it to the final 4 if they wanted to. That's concerning to me because of all the people left, that's like my nightmare blunt rotation. Hopefully Venus, Kenzie, and Liz can do something. Someone has to catch on to the fact that Maria and Charlie have been running the game since the beginning. It goes down in the comments. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of this episode and what are your predictions for next week? I'll be back next Wednesday with more Survivor. Until next time, have a nice weekend. Bye!